Hi everyone, it's Yosie here. It's Monday, Monday afternoon, I never know what date it is, the 18th, I think, 18th of February. Yes, I do know that because tomorrow is my daughter's birthday. She's turning 18 tomorrow, can you believe it? My firstborn is going to be 18. I can hardly believe it. So yes, that's tomorrow, the 19th, so today's the 18th. Yes, I'm just on here because I want to make some more of these envelopes, and I mentioned in a previous video that I would show how to do that, and then I forgot in the last video that I made. I forgot to do that, so I'm going to do that now. I think I've done this upside down though, because I keep wanting to look at it this way because that pulls out that way, but then the writing is upside down. So what do I need to change? Oh, I just need to... What do I need to do? Yeah, I need to keep everything the same, but make sure the writing's that way up. I'm going to put that there. And then I have these ones, which are not as involved. They're just a simple envelope, which I've stuck a pocket on the top of. So maybe I'll make one of each. But I really... See, I'm doing it again. That's upside down. I don't know. Maybe it's just depends which way you pull things out. I think I must always like to do that. So I'll try and bear that in mind. Then you have to anyway, I'm getting a muddle already. I've only just begun. But so let's see how we're going to get on. Okay, so I start by the front of the envelope. So that's the front, that's the back. Putting some book page down. I'm just going to put this here because I actually don't entirely remember how I did it, but it'll come back to me. So I really like the colour of this paper, which I'm going to use. It's just a list of things. The library where we live is a theological library, so all the content is theological. But this is just a list of stuff. But I just really like the colour of that paper. So I'm going to stick that down. I need 2 bits. Anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. So let me stick that down. Find my glue stick. I thought I was organised, but I'm not. Do I even have a glue stick? Here we are. So... I'm going to sew around 3 edges, I think, of the envelope. So I think I do probably need to be a bit more diligent with my gluing stuff down. So let me just trim the excess. Well, that's sticky, so let me stick something on there first. So basically, I'm just collaging the front of the envelope. No, I've not stuck that down properly. Now let me trim around the edges. Obviously being very careful not to cut the envelope open. The back I'm not going to decorate because I'm going to stick a panel of paper on the back to make an extra pocket. Hopefully it will become clear soon. So I hope everyone had a nice weekend. What did I do this weekend? Do you know, I can't even... Well, yesterday was busy. I was singing at church. And my throat... Actually, you know what? This flu thing is still going on for ages, because I've woken up with a sore throat again this morning, which is really frustrating because I thought I was getting better. I feel better, but I'm not 100%. I think these things just take a while to work their way out of your system. And then on Saturday, what did I do? I can't even remember. I just hung out with family, and I also did quite a bit of work. I've been working on a few journals, and I needed to crack on with them because I I felt behind. I mean, you know, it's my own schedule, but because I'd been unwell, I was a little behind with making things. Quite like this fabric. It's an old one. This is left over from a sewing class I did ages ago, and they were teaching us how to do buttonholes. So I kept the paper because I thought it would look quite pretty. Not the paper, the fabric. I thought that looked quite pretty. So I think that will be part of my pocket. I'm going to assemble a few bits and pieces to make the pocket. I hope you're still with me. I'm terrible at making tutorials. It's not even going to call it a tutorial because it isn't. It's just me trying to figure out what I did before. Okay, I think it needs another bit of fabric. Let's see. Oh, this is pretty. Let's have a little bit of that somewhere. Where should I put that? Oh, I don't want to cover up my nice pretend buttonholes. Maybe I'll do that, put it there. And then have some paper. Just layering things really. Trying to be as random as possible. So I'm going to stitch this so it will be one panel, if you see what I mean. So I'm just assembling that first at the moment. I think it'd be quite nice to have a bit of a lace. So yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do this. This is going to be one whole panel. So if you wanted to, you could just use a little rectangle of fabric or scrapbook paper or a collage of different things like I've done now. But it, you know, when it's all assembled, it'll be one panel, which will then be the pocket on the front. So I'm just going to sew that now, and then you'll see what I mean. Okay, so that's stitched together. And even though I had it a different way around, I actually prefer it this way around, so I'm going to make it into a pocket. I had it like that before, but I like that the lace is that way because it kind of makes the front of the pocket look pretty. So I will stick that down just to secure it, and then even though I'm going to stitch, yes, yeah, I am going to stitch around those edges, aren't I? Yes, that will be fine. So I'm just going to stitch that down, stick that down. Okay, so oh yes, that's fine. So yeah, we have a pocket. We have a pocket in there. So that's the front, and then when that's dry, I'll stitch. I can stitch around all four bits actually. There, stitch, 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 and I can even stitch along there because it won't close off the. At least I think I can. We'll see. Let's see. Let's see. Because goodness knows my brain is not remembering anything at the moment, so it feels like I'm doing this for the first time. So there we are. Yeah, so then in this pocket you would then put something. So let's have a look. What do I have to hand? I've got a couple of these postcards. I've got some of my artwork that could go in there to make it's actually large enough to house one of those. Yeah, let's do that then. watercolor print. I just need to trim that down a tiny bit. I won't do that on screen because my paper cutter makes a hideous noise. So then I could add another panel of lace there, just, you know, for a bit of not what I've got some scrap fabric there. No, I won't use that. Let's see, have I got any lace to hand? Anyway, let me not start fiddling about with bits and pieces. Let's do the back, because then you'll see the bare bones. So far we have an envelope. That's the back, that's the front. With some collaged book page and a pocket. So that's the front. And you could just leave it at that and, you know, Bob's your uncle. That's done. But then I thought, see, I am turning it upside down, but yeah, I'm just going to go with the flow because that's just how my work. I thought I would create another little thing, and I also didn't want to do a whole bunch of collage on the back, you know, because it's just going to take more time. So I thought, wouldn't it be nice if I could put some writing paper down, like some tea-dyed paper, so it's not pure white, down there. And then I thought, oh, if I don't stick down all three edges, I'll have another you know, thing, another pocket. So I've got this very dark tea-dyed paper, which I'm going to... Now, how did I do that? Because that's not really long enough. Obviously didn't cover the whole thing. So yeah, it's a little inconvenient because this envelope is not really A5. I could go that way, couldn't I? Yes, I'll do that. You've got a little line there, but that's okay. Anyway, so I'm just going to cut this down to size somehow. I'm sure there's a way to do it with a paper cutter, but seeing as I don't want to inflict that ear screeching noise, I'll use my scissors. And I hope that I can cut in a reasonably straight line. Well, it'll be okay once I stick it down because I can trim it, so that's okay. Okay. Are you still with me? I hope so, because I'm not sure I'm with me. Okay, so it's that way. That's the front. And that's the back. So the idea is I'm going to stick down those three edges. So the three edges that go there, and then it'll be open on that end. Yeah? So let's do that. Let's see. Okay. And that's it. And then I'm just going to trim this down to make sure so that's open there, and then glued around the three edges. And this one looks a bit more involved because I just used 3 bits of these you know, these offcuts to make a panel. So it looks a bit more interesting, but with this one I've just used a straight, you know, just a piece of... Now, if I had been thinking, if I had my thinking hat on, I could have decorated this before I stuck it down. So if I wanted to stitch, I could have done... It looks like it would have been quite nice, wouldn't it, to stick something down there. I mean, I still could, but I won't be able to stitch it. I'll just glue it down. So let's do that. I'm going to put some of these doilies. So, you know, you could decorate these edges. Oh, that looks quite nice. I'll do that. Oh, does it look nice? Maybe I'll do one. I feel like I want to put some fabric on there as well. But... oh, maybe some lace. tricky. The whole point is that you should be able to write on there, so perhaps I'm complicating things a bit. I'll just put a little bit of lace there and stick it down. Hopefully it will stay. At this rate, I'm only going to get one envelope done because I'm taking a long time over it. Yeah, I genuinely couldn't remember what I did. Isn't that always the way? I used to do a bit of songwriting in the past, and I'd wake up with a melody in my head or something, or I'll have an idea, and I go, oh, it's okay, I'll remember that. But now I know from experience that if I don't jot it down or do a voice recording straight away, it'd be gone. It's a bit like that with this envelope. I said to myself, oh yes, I'll remember that, and then I have struggled to remember it. I'm trying to stick this down really well so that it won't come up again, because as I say, I can't stitch that bit. So that's the inside of the envelope, and that's that. Could have done with trimming that down a bit better, but hey, I've done a boo-boo. Yes, I have done a boo-boo because the last time, before I attached this paper, I stitched all the way around, but of course I can't now because that's there. So on this envelope, oh, that's a shame, it won't have the stitching along there. You see what I mean about remembering things? Okay, so let me stitch down these 3 corners anyway. Yes, I'll do that. Okay, so I've stitched around those 3 edges anyway. So there's a pocket in there, and then there's a tuck spot, another pocket there. So I've got this, I've trimmed this down. So I'll just distress the edges to match that lovely dark vintage paper, vintage book page, leaflet page, whatever. There. And then that goes, so that's that bit, and then you've got, obviously you've got your envelope. See, that's not pleasing me at all. I didn't really think that through, did I? So I could stick the doily down there. Oh, I know what I could do. I actually do know what I'm going to do. So we're problem solving together. I have some offcuts of tea dyed paper here. So I'm going to stick that down and trim it to size. I'm going to have to be really... Oh, I could actually stitch it if I wanted to. If I wanted to be really pedantic. Let me stick this down because then it covers up the whiteness of that paper. Sometimes it's good to problem solve together, isn't it? It's either good or it's tedious. I don't know which. Tedious for the person watching, not for me. Oh. So yeah, that doesn't offend me so much. Calls into question really whether it's worth using a pre-existing envelope, whether you're just better off making an envelope from scratch by the time you've covered up every inch of the pre-existing envelope. But this would be good if you were recycling a junk mail envelope, wouldn't it? Because so I'm just trimming it down to the original envelope shape, envelope flap shape. And there you have it. Oh, that's made me much happier. And if I was in the mood, which I sometimes am, I would stitch around there and that would look really nice. But I don't want this video to be long, so you get the idea of what's possible. So it'd be a question of finding something nice to put in there. Have I got anything to hand? Not really. Or just some, you know, it doesn't really matter what I'll do. You don't need to watch me try and figure out what to put in there. So that something would go in there. I don't have any tags that size. And then for here, you could then put another tag. So just for illustration purposes, I'll use another watercolor print. And that won't fit. So I'll use a smaller. I wonder why that doesn't fit all the way down. Yeah, it's to do with the way I glued it. Yeah, it's to do with the way I glued it. So it goes down to about there. So on this, in this instance, I would use, you could put another card there, which would be nice to attach a little lace tab, which I think I will do now. I'll just staple it on. To make it nice and quick. It's a rather large tab, isn't it? I'll do it on this one. Except, where's my stapler? So yeah, just staple that on. And then that lives in there. So then you have a nice little interactive situation. You've got the front of his here. I've done exactly the same thing. That's upside down. I did try. I really did. You saw. You see, I have the best of intentions. I don't know what my brain is doing today. Where is the original envelope? Yeah, I've done it upside down again. And I very quickly got into mayhem on my desk. I was doing so well and it all fell apart. But I'm not going to re-record this video. I was saying to myself that I would, but I'm not going to because, you know, it's good to keep it real. I've done exactly the same thing. It's upside down. Okay, so the next envelope I make, I think I'll make sure the... sorry, the book page is... Oh, it doesn't matter. It's writing and you can't even see it. So that goes there. That pulls out like that in there. And then with envelopes, you're constantly turning things up. So that's a pleasant surprise. That's made me very, very happy. The back of that tag had some lace on it. And it's poking over the top of the envelope. So that's nice and pretty. And then you've got something pretty in there. I just don't know why I need to put something in the envelope because it will make me happy. And also, I do know, I don't like rushing. Again, a complete muddle when I rush, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to cut this down. See if that will fit. Just only, not quite. Be nice to have a completed one on here. Try and cut that into a reasonably straight line. Yeah. And there you go. There's one done. I don't know, can you bear to watch me do another? Let's see if we can correct the things that didn't go well. And I suppose the more I do, the more it will make sense. But in actual fact, this has turned out really pretty. I mean, I actually really love that. So that's in there. And then open it out whichever way, and it's got something pretty in there. So all round, it's just a pretty thing, isn't it? So let's do one more, I think. And hopefully, I know a couple of things I'm going to do differently. So let's see. So there's that one. Let's do one more of the interactive. This is another variation of that. So instead of having a full length pocket, I just collaged the front of the envelope. Weirdly didn't get into a model with this one, I don't think. And then just made a tuck spot there. And then there's a tag that goes in there. A couple of bits. And then again, it's the interactive thing there. And then the writing space there and something in there. So that turned out really nice. So that's another one of these these envelopes. So let's do one more, and with these ones it's exactly the same process with the pocket in the front, except I didn't add the extra tab. So that's another way to do it. That's just the pocket, and then you can add lace and all various bits and pieces. So let's do one more. Okay, let's put those two there. Okay, so let's do one more. Yes, okay, so let's get some book pages. This time I'll just use a catalogue page. Sorry, shaking the camera. Let's see. I'm going to put it this way up, but really, you know, it doesn't matter. Let's glue it all down. Just. Okay. And then I'll just trim this down. Oh, you see, what would also work to save that extra bit that I did before is you could, at this stage, you could go ahead and collage the flap, couldn't you? I wonder if I should do that now. Well, let's try, because that's another way to do it, you see? So I don't need to trim that bit off. I can just go ahead and collage the flap. That would be quicker with something. So let's try. Let's try a bit of this paper. Oh, I'm very glad of that revelation. And this way I can really trim off the edges. There's a teeny, can you see that teeny bit of white there that I'm feeling like I need to cover? Yeah, so I'm just going to cover it, because otherwise it will really bug me. There. You hear my sewing machine thread thing is rattling, sorry about that noise. And then I have a bit of something there, so I'll just find another bit. Oh, this is rather bright, but let's see if that will work. Be interesting when it overlaps, won't it? But we'll see when I fold it over. So let me just trim around everything, and then you'll see. Hopefully it'll make more sense. Oh, I'm really pleased of that revelation, to do the envelope flap at the same time. Again, taking care not to cut the actual envelope. So that's the back of the envelope, and then I'm going to need to stitch that, I think. Because look, you see, my gluing. Oh yes, let's use some better glue. I don't think I can stitch that bit. Just bend it over. I'll do it flat and then bend it over. No, still wanting to. Actually, yes, I can stitch that bit, so I'll go ahead and do that. So this is the point where it's still okay, because I can add the pocket. I sometimes wonder why there's a variation in volume in my videos, but I've just observed myself do something. I was talking really quietly a minute ago, and I suddenly got very loud. So that's why this video has been a real learning experience, hasn't it? More for me than anyone else. So I'm making the pocket. That's what I'm doing. So I just need to cut that down. I'm kind of eyeballing it, which is probably not the cleverest thing to do. I don't want it to be too deep. And I'm going to layer stuff, you know, like the last time. Layer stuff on top of that. Okay, let me think. What am I doing? That's going to go that way. Yeah, so the pocket's going to be here. It's a little too deep. And I've cut it wrong as well. So I'll have to layer things to make it the right size. Okay, so let me find some fabric, some paper or something. This paper is quite flimsy, but by the time you've layered it onto other things, then it's I think this video is, I'm going to need to edit it though, because it's going to be too long. I've taken a really long time over this. So let's see. And I have no way of telling how long this video is. I just want a little scrap of pretty paper somewhere. So let's see. Put that there. Needs something else, isn't it? Well, it needs some lace. Don't actually have any to hand, and you know, I'm really liking the pink there, so I might actually layer some more fabric there. So this is going to be less muted and a little bit more colourful. Oh, but I'm covering up my nice rose there. I want to cover up that rose. And what to do? Let me see. It's still covering it up, yes. Begs the question, what was the point? I've cut most of it off, but anyway. I've still got some sticky bits under there. So still have this. I'm just going to stick this down because this scrap is annoying me. I really should have just put it in the bin, but it's been on my desk for the last couple of days, so I'm going to finally use it. There you go. Bit of layering there. I think I'm going to use this because it's just randomly there, and I do like it. So we're still in the month of February, so Valentine's may be over, but I'm still thinking about love and roses. Okay, so that's that pocket. So I might put some lace down there. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch that. Hi everyone, I took a longer break actually in the end because I needed to have some lunch. So I'm hoping that will make my brain work a bit better. So I've stitched the pocket, and then I added this little bit of lace there. It's kind of blue, but it ties in with the bluey green of that. So what I'm going to do now, before I attach the paper this time, is stitch all the way around the 4 edges. I decided not to cover that up because it doesn't look too bad when you have the the pocket, because then you've got the pink of that complements that pink there. So I'm going to keep that on. So I'm just going to attach the pocket a little bit. Okay. So yes, I'm going to stitch around the 4 edges because I can stitch there, because it will. And I also probably will stitch the flap, because I may as well, seeing as I've got the sewing machine out. Okay, so I have attached the pocket, and I really love how that looks. That's the flap. So now we're going to attach our panel of paper there. So this is the point where I need to decide if I'm going to want to decorate that before I stick it down, or whether I'm just happy to leave it on. Oh, here we are. Hi, Del. Yeah, I'm just filming something. So I have one of these things that you know, where I stuck the bits of paper together to make one whole panel. So I'm going to attach it onto here. I don't think I won't decorate this one this time, because will I? It's quite nice actually to have a bit of continuity, isn't it? So let's make a little collage for the bottom bit. I'm going to need to trim. I will trim that off. So let me do. I need to trim off a tiny bit. Yeah, that's okay. So that, I just want to find some more of that paper. Just so there's a little bit of continuity. And some more of this paper. Where is it? Could do. Oops. Could do something like that, couldn't I? Onto there. Now, if I was really wanting to make this even more interactive, I could make that into a tuck spot, couldn't I? And then attach it. Shall I or shall I not? Well, why not? Let's see. You make new discoveries as you go along. So I'm going to do that. Stitch it and then attach it. So if that's going to be a tuck spot, then I probably will add a little bit of more something there just to reinforce it, I think. Just to give the doily something to attach onto. So I'm going to stitch that and then attach it to the panel, and then we'll glue that down. And then we're almost done. Okay, so I've stitched that little bit together and have stitched that onto there. So that's the panel open up there, but there also happens to be a tuck spot there. So let me go ahead and glue this down. Let me just have a moment. So yeah, I'm gluing down these 3 corners there. I hope that makes sense. Yes. Okay. Okay. So that's attached. Yes, so we now have multiple things happening. We've got a pocket in here, which, let me find something to put in there. You can put a little card in there. You have, yeah, it's upside down again. My brain's having a malfunction every time with this. That's okay. You have something there, which, don't have anything as yet to put in there. And then you've got a little tuck spot at the back of, you've got writing space here. And you've got a little tuck spot at the back of the envelope, which you can put a little tag or something. A little shipping tag. That makes me so happy. And then you've got your envelope to put stuff in. So I've got this bit of manuscript paper, which I tea-dyed. I might just staple a few things onto it just because it's nice to have scraps of things. Let's find some fabric, just some bits and pieces that I had on the front. So yeah, like a little cluster of things. There, just put in the envelope. So here's my stapler. Let's do 2. Yeah, stuff like that makes me very happy. So a little bit of journaling space with, I don't know, just random bit of interest. So that can go in the envelope. I hope it fits. Not quite. So I'm going to trim down the bottom. Thankfully I have lines to help me. Not sure why that's not going in easily, but I'll figure that out later. So there's something in there. There's something in there. We just need something for the I've got this scrap bit of paper, so I'll just put that in there for now, just so that I will attach a lace tab to it, because why not? I'll do it that way. Try and get one bit on each side. Let's see if I can do that in one go. Yes, so just got a scrap bit of paper. You know what I'm wanting to do, don't you? You know that I'm wanting to collage on there. Might another time. So then that will go in there. So yes, that's our finished envelope. That's the front. That pulls out like that, if you don't mind pulling from the left. That way. But like, if you're like me, I'll then end up turning it that way. Isn't it weird? Didn't matter how hard I tried, I ended up with the same results. Always felt upside down. There must be a reason, but I don't know what it is. So that goes there. That's the pocket. That's turned out really pretty. That's the back with the collaged envelope flap, and then you've got another tuck spot on the back there, and then obviously it's the same thing. And oh yes, and then you open the envelope and you've got another bit of thing going on in there as well. So that makes me, and it's all coordinated, look. So that's good. I hope this was helpful and just hasn't left you in a complete muddle. I really did try, but that's just me and my scatty ways sometimes. So yes, made these two today. Made these two in this video. Yeah. There you go, like that. Weirdly, this one pulls out that way and the other one, no, that's it, yeah. Yeah, I tried. One pocket's facing the other, it's the same result. It doesn't matter. Good way to get around it is don't use a book page, then it doesn't matter which way around it's turned. Just use a decorated page, but you know, depends how fussy you are about these things. So that's these two. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, lots and lots of love. Bye. Bye-bye. Take care now.